So on Friday I watched Alien Romulus and it was great honestly, but unfortunately not fantastic, and that's annoying because it could have been. But this movie gets hindered by one major thing for me. Let's talk about that later though, and start with all of the tons of positives I have with this movie. I think we'll start with the smaller positives and work our way up. The sound design in this movie was fantastic, only beaten this year by Dune Part 2 so far. I mean, there's still the occasional sound in space, which does still kind of annoy me because there isn't any sound in space. But it still sounded cool, so that wasn't a big problem. The digital and practical effects were really good. I mean, all of the xenomorphs and the facehuggers were really well made, to a point where you don't know when the stuff is digital and when it's practical, because everything looks so realistic. Except one thing, but I'll come to that later. The movie just looks fantastic as well. I mean, Fede Alvarez just knows how to direct a movie so that it looks like you're in a world instead of thinking, oh, this was made in front of a green screen, oh, they're standing in front of the volume. And the reason for that is mainly that he built most of the sets for real. Also, this movie has a great set design. I mean, all of the stuff on space stations or spacecrafts look used and just not new anymore. And all the buttons look real and aren't some kind of touchscreen. The thing this movie does best is just creating tension more and more and more, until I noticed I was holding my own breath. It kind of reminded me of the first A Quiet Place, because there are always multiple things happening simultaneously with different characters who are in danger, and it gets more and more difficult to get out of that situation. How Fede Alvarez manages to create these situations with it still organically fitting into the story was just great. You know what would also be great? If you subscribe. I know, no viewer likes to hear that, and to be honest, I wouldn't too, but unfortunately, a lot of viewers just don't subscribe. And believe it or not, subscribing actually helps my channel a lot. So if you're one of those, you know what to do. Anyways, the actors in this movie were fine. Kaylee Spaney and David Johnson were really good, but apart from those two, the characters didn't get much depth and were really one-dimensional as a result. That leads me to my negatives and why Alien Romulus just isn't fantastic, even though it's great. And the reason for that is just that this movie kind of wants to be a legacy sequel, but doesn't go all in on it. So it kind of feels like a producer or the studio just bullied Fede Alvarez to put in a certain character with horrendous CGI, or say the iconic one-liner Ripley says in Aliens, which just doesn't feel organic at all and pulls me out of the immersion. That doesn't mean this movie doesn't have some cool Easter eggs and parallels to multiple Alien movies, but for me the legacy sequel aspect in this movie was more irritating than fun. And so that held this movie back from being fantastic or perfect. And that's why I give this movie a 4 out of 5. To check out why A Quiet Place is worse than the original, click here. That's been it, thanks for watching and bye!